If you're the owner of a 2011 through 2016 Super Duty 6.2 gasser and you're looking to go big but on a budget, well then you'll definitely want to check out the 4-inch installer system from MBRP that we're talking about here today. Now this system will combine that massive 4-inch tubing with the aluminized steel material and aggressive tone, all for right around the low to mid $400 price point. Install, according to the site, guys, is going to get a middle of the road 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Take a couple of hours or so to complete from start to finish, as we'll show you later in the video. So let's jump right into the sound you can expect out of the 4-inch MBRP, and honestly, I'm a big fan. Now with the installer in place, the tone was deep, the system was not overly loud in general, and I did pick up a ton of presence, which I love, right? It's a big truck, it should certainly have a bigger presence on the road. So what does that all mean on my Wake the Neighbor scale? Well, I have the MBRP coming in at a very healthy 3 out of 5 on my patented 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. That does get a little bit louder inside the truck after the install, but that's to be expected anytime you go a bit louder than stock, and certainly not what I would call drone by any means. Now, shaping the sound with this particular system will be the extremely free-flowing MBRP muffler here, guys, that will help deliver that powerful, deeper tone that you heard at the very top of this video. But the big story, no doubt, here with this particular system, besides the very affordable price point, is that 4-inch diameter with the tubing, all of it mandrel bent, by the way, which is going to help dramatically increase your flow overall, while also ditching some weight off the truck here as well when compared to your factory catback. Now this particular kit does include the 5-inch chrome tip here, guys, embossed with the MBRP logo. It is a nice upgrade over the stocker, but without being too huge and too ridiculous and getting into the grapefruit shooter category, which, let's face it, can sometimes happen with some of the aftermarket Super Duty kits. Now, if you do prefer a different look with your exhaust, maybe a stealthier black tip for instance, MBRP does offer their Black Series exhaust, which is going to be nearly identical to the installer series that we have here. However, just features a black powder-coated axle back portion. Again, you can find that here on the site if you're interested for a couple $100 more. Now, the entire system, again, guys, has been made from aluminized steel, which sure will help keep costs down a bit compared to a full stainless option, but ultimately will be a little bit more susceptible to corrosion over the long run. And that's going to be important for owners who live in snowy areas that see a lot of sea salt, or road salt I should say, during the winter months. Now regardless, even with that being said, MBRP does kick in a nice little 3-year warranty with the installer system in case you run into any trouble. But if you did live in a snowy area, you see a lot of road salt, you might want to consider MBRP's XP or Pro Series systems, both of which do offer a full stainless steel build. But what do you say we shift gears and talk a little bit more about the install? Honestly, guys, won't be that bad at all once the factory system is out of the way. That's going to be the toughest part of your job. But once that's out of the way, it should be all downhill from here. And to give you a better idea of just what's involved with this particular job, feel free to check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown now.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, a cutoff wheel, exhaust hanger remover, an extension, a 15 and 10 millimeter socket, an 8 millimeter Allen, a pair of safety glasses, and a tape measure. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be installing an exhaust on our 2016 F250 Super Duty, so let's get right into it. Alright, so our first step is going to be to remove these 2 exhaust clamps on either side of our resonator. Now normally this would be done with a 15 millimeter socket, but since ours are both completely rusted out, we're going to be cutting them off with a cutoff wheel. So let's get started on that. Alright, so now we can get a pair of safety glasses on and start cutting our bolt. We're going to cut it at the top of this nut right here, so that way we can save the clamp because it is tack welded at the top, and then just replace our hardware inside. All right, so now with our first clamp cut, we could either cut this second clamp, or this whole exhaust actually can come off with just this clamp removed. So that's how we're gonna do it. So we need to remove our 3 exhaust hangers, and then we can bang this out of place. Right, and now we can move on to our second one. All right, so now to remove our last hanger, we have a 10 mil bolt here and then a 10 mil bolt on the inside of the frame. So we can remove that and drop this down. All right, so for that top bolt inside the frame rail, we're just gonna come in with a regular ratchet. There's not much clearance to get an electric ratchet on there. All right, so we misspoke earlier. There is actually gonna be one more hanger on the opposite side of the muffler from the second one. So we can go ahead and get in there and get this out. All right, so we'll get a little pry bar, pry that the rest of the way back, and then this exhaust can fall and we can get it off the car. So now we have a pull jack in the back to support the weight of the back of the exhaust. And now we're gonna take a rubber mallet and start hitting this resonator and slide our exhaust back so we can get it free. All right, so our next step is going to be to cut our front pipe. So in the instructions, we have, based on what kind of cab and box you have, the exact measurements. So we have a Super Crew Cab, which is going to be the same measurement as our Crew Cab with the 6.5 foot box. So we need to cut this pipe to 32 inches. Now that we have our line down for our cut, we can take it over to our saw and make our cut. So now that we have our cut made, we can go ahead and deburr our edges. All right, so now that we have our front pipe cut, cleaned, and deburred, we can go ahead and slide a 3-inch clamp over the edge and then install this on. All right, now we can line up our clamp and we can get this loosely tightened down. Now we can move on to our next step. So now we can take our 4-inch clamp and our hanger and we can pinch the clamp, slide our hanger over just like that. And then we can go ahead and slide this over the other side of the front pipe. And then we can loosely tighten this bolt as well. And now we can move on to our next step. All right, so now we can install our muffler. So we'll take another 4-inch clamp, slide that over the edge, and then we can wiggle our muffler into place. And then once again, we can slide this clamp into place and loosely tighten that. So now we can get our back hangers installed. So it's going to be that same process of sliding it over the nut on the clamp, and then we'll get it into our hangers. Now we can install our over axle pipe. So we'll just snake it back there and then slide it into the back of our muffler. And then we can go ahead and take our 15 mil again and loosely tighten our hanger. So now we can reinstall our exhaust hanger that we unbolted before. All right, so now we can install our tailpipe. So we can slide that into our over axle pipe and then slide our hanger in. And then once again, we can loosely tighten our clamp, and then we can go back and fully tighten everything down. All right, so now we can install our tip. So we'll just slide right over the tailpipe. And then you can adjust this to have as much poke as you would like. I like a little bit sticking out. And then we can go down, fully tighten everything out, get it all lined up, and this install will be complete. All right, so now we can take our 8 mil Allen and tighten down our tip. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the MBRP 4-inch Installer Series single exhaust system with polished tips and side exit for your 2011 to 2016 F-250 Super Duty. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things F-250, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.